You can see slightly less than ideal workshop conditions with a rocking table here.
What's your record for being able to true a wheel? Can you true a wheel?
Speed-wise or damage-wise? Oh, look, no, it's too variable. A case-by-case type situation, so you just do your best. And I do have a tensiometer here for some of the higher tension wheels, so we'll actually get true and then assess the tension and just try and get some balanced tension in the wheel again. If it was a rim brake, it would be more significant because you've obviously got to have the wheel truer. Yeah. So we can make a trueness sacrifice in the name of even tension, which makes for a stronger situation on track.
What are some tips you give the punters for keeping, their bikes in good working order on a multi-stage race like Wildside?
Yeah, good condition before the start of the race. So assuring yourself that your bike's in good shape. If in doubt, repair before you're starting the race. Carry some good cleaning gear. So a small low-pressure backpack garden sprayer full of water, some simple detergents, and get it cleaned and re-lubricated. And during that process, you'll uncover any issues that you may find. Yeah. Before the next stage.
Do you sometimes feel like a surgeon in a hospital in some respects, performing operations on people's babies?
Lunch stops are a little bit emergency room, yeah. At the end of the day, we've got a little more scope to manage our workloads and eat food and have a beverage. But certainly lunch stops, we know we're under the pump because there's a stage starting in about an hour's time. And this guy with this munted wheel, he's going to ride. So we have to get him done.
Do you like this sort of pressure, or would you prefer? Is there a lot more pressure doing this sort of stuff than, say, working in a bike shop?
Yeah, there certainly is. There's no scope for a part to be ordered or an ideal solution. So quite often you are under pressure, but I quite enjoy that, and I know the guys enjoy the thrill of it too that are working with us.
Do a lot of them come back and say thanks for a good job?
We often are rewarded with beer at the end of the race if we've done an exceptional MacGyver, which is always appreciated.
And is there ever too much beer though?
Not for us, no. It's a little. Well, at the end of the race, it's drawn. Things get wild for most of the riders. They go out and have a pretty good time after the race in it's drawn, and we do join them from time to time for a beer. Rob, I've got a cheap Shimano quick release rear centre lock, 100.
In your opinion, is aluminium or carbon a better option for a frame?
Now we're getting into the area of religion. The current generation of carbon frames have certainly proved themselves to be dependable, reliable, light and strong. So both materials have their strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, so I think they both perform well in the right circumstances.
Well, what's in your garage anyway?
There's a sort of a carbon 120mm dual suspension bike and a 150mm larger bike which is an aluminium frame. So more likely to find its way tumbling down the hill through a pile of rocks is the aluminium bike.
It seems that dual suspension is a way to go these days. It's almost like single suspension is obsolete, right?
Look, I wouldn't say that. The top-end racers are still preferring hardtails, and then the next iteration of that, the 29-inch hardtail.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't say that the hardtail's dead as a trail bike or as a trail riding experience. I think the dually is the weapon of choice these days. They're pretty sophisticated, very efficient.
Yeah.
But in terms of climbing agility in a race situation, you really are looking at a hardtail is pretty hard to beat for most race courses. Like I said, it's a religion. It's a religious argument.
You say that simply because of the variation in terrain?
Yeah, there's some quite technical terrain. Certainly tomorrow we see the Granville Harbour stage. Granville to Trial Harbour is predominantly washed out rock,
Yeah.
quartzite surfaces, very sharp, pretty serious ascending and descending. And I'd much rather be bouncing down there with the surety of a dual suspension bike.